Ooh. Thanks for everyone's patience. Here we go again. Yeah, there we go.
Thanks for joining us for Generations Unite, our weekly discussion about increasing everyday spirituality from the perspective of different generations. We hope our conversations and meditations will help increase forgiveness, spiritual healing, prosperity, and living a life of freedom and self-expression. Now it's time for Generations Unite.
Hi, everybody. Again,
Hello, how's it going?
everybody, our loyal fans on KCTK Radio. We love it that you're listening to us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And all of you on Facebook at the KCTK Radio page, we appreciate it. This is Generation Unite. This is where myself and documentary featured Megan Lavoda, YouTube star, talk about different generations and how it drives me crazy. Right?
Yep, absolutely. And you know, when we first started this podcast, I feel like generations were obviously a hot topic. I feel like everyone's talking about them these days.
Yes.
Like it's everywhere.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think part of it is because Gen Z is growing old enough to where we can kind of see what the deal is with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why do they have stupid mustaches, and does it actually get chicks if you do that? We know a resident Gen Z who says that is the case.
Right. But a lot of Gen Xers don't agree with him.
No.
And no millennials were there to help him out at all.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? It seems as soon as we got our mind around the idea of millennials being the biggest generation since the baby boomers,
mm-hmm.
Now millennials are adults. Not even adults. I mean, they're in their 30s. Some of them are there. Would they be in their 40s?
No, not quite.
Not quite, but they're
these 30. I think the latest would be the latest would be 40, maybe.
So, I mean, I would say I
guess some of them would be.
I call them young adults, but they're adults. They have been part of the culture and making decisions for a while.
That's actually, can I just go ahead and share this article?
Yeah,
sure.
Well, and first you want to share anything about what you're up to or anything like that, or you just want to dive in?
I want to dive in because what you just said is kind of a good segue. Oh, it says that you disabled screen sharing really quick.
Oh, I disabled it?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is one of those things which is a lot of fun because there we go. Maybe that fixed it. Did that work? Okay.
Yes.
That's the old man with the young person using the technology. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you've heard of this term geriatric millennial. Have you?
No.
It's kind of everywhere now. It's about millennials being born between 1980 and 85. And I was seeing some people share it on my Facebook of like, well, great, now we're geriatric. And so I think the 1980, those people would be 41, right?
Yeah. 41 years.
Yeah, so 35 to 41. But it's saying that they are the generation the micro generation that is going to help us with this hybrid workforce because they have enough skills with the technology, but they also have enough skills being in the office themselves, and they can be kind of a good bridge. So
interesting. Now, do you deal with any of those kind of people?
Yeah, I do. I'm not sure exactly how old she is, but one of the I think it's like the lead of graphic design or multimedia design at Unity was someone who shared this link that was a millennial of that age group.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think, the product specialist, and this other girl might also be kind of up there. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, it's just funny to me because have you also heard of the term of like zillennials?
That's funny you should say that. I guess I'll go ahead and go to
Oh yeah,
my
go ahead.
article.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's what it's like to be a zillennial, the generation caught between Gen Z and millennials, which is you. Which is
Yeah.
you, right?
It is me. It's really Maddie even more so
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen some people because okay, millennials it tends to end anywhere from 1995 to 1998. And because I am 94, there's most things I look up, like it's not going to say I'm not a millennial. But
Mhm.
people that are born from like 95 to like 2000 even, they're sometimes lumped in with millennials and sometimes not. And so I've seen a lot of people of that age basically be like, which one am I? Because everyone's saying I'm different. But I still would say I'm a zillennial.
This is you. I tend to agree more with Gen Z because millennials get so riled up. Is that true?
I don't know. I think I get a little bit more riled up.
What do you get riled up about?
Well, I think that millennials are like watching the presidential debate, arguing the points, and being like, why did they say this stupid thing? Why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. And Gen Z is, oh my God, there's a fly on Mike Pence's head.
Okay. Okay. You do get riled up about stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
I think millennials are more, which I've seen from like debates on Twitter and stuff that like they're seen as like taking things too seriously or like just being too serious and not
Mhm.
fun.
So this article from Vice about zillennials, they're a micro generation between 1993 and 98. That's you. 'Cause
I
you're
do think that I
94,
still
and
am like I relate to this.
you do, and then your sister too is 97. So that's
Mhm.
nice that you guys got your own little micro generation. Congratulations.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking about too with this is like I think zillennials above all else probably understand memes the most.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about how I didn't find out what a meme was until late my senior year of high school. And so I think that another thing about Gen Z is that they're so defined by memes. They like learn to communicate with memes. They probably like flirted with their first crush with a meme.
Really?
Yeah, and
Did you do that?
no, we had like the T9 text feature on flip phones and had to press the number enough times to get like a smile. That was it.
When
was? Mhm.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Yeah, hook up my thing so we can take phone calls at 913-735-0060.
Mm-hmm.
When now I remember that you wanted to get on social media early, and I wouldn't let you as your father.
Mm-hmm.
And I even waited till you were, how old did you have to be for Facebook? 13?
13, yeah.
Do you remember any, what's your earliest remembering of social media, of where you wanted to jump on? Was that
I wanted to go on Xanga.
Xanga? Okay. And
Mhm.
how old were you when you wanted to go on Xanga?
Either 11 or 12.
Okay.
Because I think you let me get a MySpace whenever I was 12, but I couldn't get a Facebook until I was 13.
Do you remember?
But I wanted it when I was like 11.
How old were you when you first knew about MySpace?
Around like the time of Xanga, like maybe 6 months later.
Okay. Because this is a really interesting generation thing, is that
Mhm.
that was the time when the first memes started popping up.
Yeah, and you know what's kind of funny is that there were images on the internet back then, but a lot of what was shared on MySpace, I don't feel like was the actual meme.
Well, here's what I'm getting at. I just
Mhm.
remember the kid that was in his garage and he looked dorky playing Star Wars, right? So
Mhm.
he did. I don't know if you remember that video on YouTube or whatever it was, and so he
Yeah,
looked
maybe.
dumb because he went online.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I was always worried. I guess this ties into another story. I was
Mhm.
worried. I don't know if I want my daughter to be out there in social media. And so my daughter, who was, I guess now as we're determining 11 or 12, went to the library and read a book about MySpace to come prove to her dad that she could do it.
I didn't realize that I read a book about it.
Yeah, because you researched it. Because I said no, and then you wanted to research it that it was okay. And I don't know if did I let you do MySpace at that point? I think I
We
probably
waited
did.
until I turned
12.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And then when you were a little bit older, going back to the funny meme of the video, you wanted to post a whole bunch of videos online. And
Honestly, you might not have even let me do MySpace until I was 13 and then
okay.
Xanga when I was 12.
Yeah.
Because the thing is I got Xanga and I had a few friends on there, it was okay, but then everyone started getting a MySpace to where I was like, Xanga was just felt like a blog, and I wanted to be able to actually communicate and message with
Yeah.
like the people I knew.
So I was just afraid, oh, I don't want the videos out there so she wouldn't be made fun of. Just
Mhm.
think about how comfortable you were with diving in there and how uncomfortable I was.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, TikTok
Mhm.
is everywhere. Everyone watches TikTok,
Mhm.
and all it is videos of people being silly.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I think millennials are used to like, um, I want to do a skit or a music video or a cover, or like millennials like want to do something with the video, and Gen Z is able to just be like, oh, I'm gonna smirk and then stick my tongue out and then like have this be like a really candid looking video of nothing, or like, oh, I'm just gonna talk for a few seconds. Like they're like a lot more comfortable with that.
Mhm. But it's just
But
amazing how we all got so comfortable, and now even
mhm,
Facebook is considered old, and it's used
mhm.
to make old people vote in terrible, terrible ways. Uh, yeah, I saw a
Mhm.
commercial for Facebook the other day, and it was promoting uh, deaf basketball.
Oh,
Okay,
what is that?
well, it's a Facebook group where the guys who are deaf who don't want to play basketball get together, and then they go play a game. Doesn't it sound wonderful that Facebook would bring you together like that?
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
also it brings together people who are racist or conspiracy theory
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
Facebook has become, and we're using it right now. We're using it right now, but it
yeah.
still has become a little weird. And it is just amazing that it wasn't the zillennials or even the millennials who have misused social media that we were all afraid of. It seems to be people, the boomers and the Generation X who have misused it, trying to get their information from there and such. So
Hmm.
um, it's interesting how things have changed so quickly. And, you know, we like to talk about generations mostly because as I get older, I'm 53. I have a hard time understanding some of these things as that things change so fast. And I'm a great host for this program because I admit it. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm not one of these guys who sit there and go, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing with social media. Now, I'd like to have some explanation, and some of the things that I see on Twitter, I don't understand. So you can get too much into millennials and Gen X and all these definitions, and now there's micro generations. But all it's
Hmm.
about is trying to understand where people are coming from and understanding their shared experience.
Hmm. Let me share my screen with something really quick,
Okay.
because I also want to show you. This is what I first thought of when I first understood what the word meme means.
Mm-hmm.
Is my friend told me I can like look up. Oh wait, which screen am I sharing? Do you see the animals?
Uh-huh.
Okay. My friend told me to go look up this thing called like memes, where like we were already sharing images, but this was around 2012, where there was these things called advice animals, where you could put words over them and make them be whatever you want. And they were like advice dog, socially awesome penguin, socially awkward penguin. There was this velociraptor, and you just made them say things. So like, I don't even know what this is. Suck helium, defy gravity. I don't really like. They weren't ever really that funny, but like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Go ahead.
Sorry, it was cutting up. But like, for whatever reason, these spread like wildfire because people figured out how to make their own.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a website where you could put whatever you wanted on it. That's me when the real meme was born, because people were taking other people's images and changing them and sharing them like wildfire. And this was 2012, so Facebook was already huge. Instagram had just started, really, or like started to get big. So like, I think I remember a time there was a website, actually, Know Your Meme.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it's still there. There was a website where like the summer before I went to high school, I was like going on there, and there would be like a new meme uploaded every week or something. Yeah, and it would explain the meme, because it would be like advice dog or velociraptor. I used to look at it just because it was fun, and there would be videos or like things explaining where the meme came from.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's like hundreds of thousands of memes probably created every single day, to where you couldn't possibly have a database for it. But back at the time, it would be like, okay, peanut butter jelly time. That was one of the first memes.
Okay.
Like, people would say it in other places, and you wanted to know what is that referring to, and so you'd look it up. But now it's just so everywhere that there's like core memes that people understand as like the framework of a meme, and then people will put things on top of it. And then Gen Z, I don't really even understand how they do their memes. It's a completely other language.
So what do you call something like this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
I don't know if I would call that a meme.
How fast I really am.
But it kind of is.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Well, so
I don't
now
think you have any idea.
you take that sound, right? That video, a short video.
Yeah.
It's all over TikTok, and with the funniest thing.
Well, then it kind of
laughed
like
out loud. Yeah, it's a sound, and I laughed out loud at a hippopotamus running with fast as fuck, boy.
yeah, exactly. It's almost like we learned how to kind of recreate things with images, and then now TikTok is having us do that with sounds.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I'm here trying to do a streaming radio station, which is technology of the past, isn't it?
Kind of.
Oh, well. I'm an older generation. Okay, so yeah, so there's micro generations now.
Yeah.
And what was the one that you said before? They're called ancient or senile.
Geriatric millennials.
Geriatric millennials, and then there's millennials.
Mm-hmm.
So that's wow, that adds more content to us. So there's our generation news of the month. Congratulations, everybody. You did it.
Yeah.
And now we move into our fun little thing called Am I the Jerk?
Let's go for it.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. You're a jerk.
I don't need that no more. Okay. You want me to go first?
You're a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we get some questions,
You're a jerk.
mostly from that Reddit page.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decide with different generations
Mm-hmm.
if you're a jerk or an a-hole. And
Mm-hmm.
also, the other thing is you have to listen to us.
Yeah,
We're
right.
If you're a jerk, then, and we say you are, then you are. But if you're not, that could be a possibility too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I made a public announcement about my HOA treatment. Am I a jerk? I'm a middle-aged man living in HOA, but only HOA. You know what that is? Homeowner Association.
Yeah.
Only moved in recently. There's a playground that I own by the HOA, but it's part of public land, so anyone can use it. There's no one else on the playground. I was co-playing with my toddler on the equipment. I couldn't be co-playing if there was other kids waiting for the equipment. Out of nowhere, some dude starts shouting at me to get off the equipment. That he's a member of the HOA council and I'm breaking the rules. The sign of the playground doesn't say anything stopping me from playing. So I said no, thinking that he's some nut job. The equipment is solid metal, so it's not like I'm falling apart. Dude escalates, calls the HOA security on me, and demands I give my papers. And he says he'll call the police on me for playing in the playground. Afterwards, I made a complaint to the HOA president, who said playground was for kids, and that dude is a nice guy, and regretted that things went down the way they did. I later read the HOA rules, and there's nowhere saying playground is kids only and no sign in the actual playground. So I had security cops calling me because I was playing with a toddler. Like, what the F? Power trip much? Because the playground is public space, I made a Google review about what happens and I'd be public for everyone to see. I was thinking something warning parents to be careful if they are on the playground equipment and there's no signage, but HOA council will hound you and call security cops on you in front of your kid. I don't want anyone having the same experience. I won't lie or embellish, just warn people about the nut job I encountered. It turned me off going to the playground. On the other hand, I had my statement of regret, so I could just let it go. So, am I the jerk if I made a Google review of the playground where HOA council called security and cops on me for nothing? I picked this one because we have an HOA that I just ignore. They like to send around their it's one lady that does it who I usually fight with on Facebook about just not very nice behavior. And she'll you have my neighbor loves his camper and he got a little thing. Your camper's been in your driveway for too long. Stuff like that.
Yeah. That's weird.
This sounds exactly like my HOA where give me a break. So I think this guy is not a jerk. I think he should say, beware, don't jump on there or someone's going to go crazy. And I would stop paying my dues if I was him.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that is strange. Wait, what was he doing again?
He says he was co-playing. I bet he was sitting there with his toddler and he was on the swing too. That's the only thing I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
Or he's on the merry-go-round with him or whatever it may be.
That would be strange if it was someone else's kid, but
well, it also would maybe be strange if he didn't live in the neighborhood. He lived in the neighborhood and he pays for that. So
yeah, exactly.
All he had to do is say, "Hey guys, we don't want adults on here because we don't want to. You and I don't want to pay for new equipment." And he'd go, "Okay, I won't do that." But he had to come to a power trip. There's all kinds of these power trips that drive me crazy. And I think they usually come. Here's why it's a generational question, Megan. They come from guys who are my age.
And you think that they care more about the power stuff?
Yeah, well, they're grasping for power. And I could get into the political part of it too, is they just feel like they're going to be pushed aside by the younger generation. And wait a minute, I'm an old white guy. I should have the power to do things. Here's the truth. The truth is you're going to be pushed aside. You have no power. So don't.
Yeah, they don't.
You don't. It's just the way it is. And you can like it. Someone actually told me, "Oh, I'm not going to like it if white people are in the minority." Well, that's called racism. Okay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is you can like it or not like it. That's the way it is. That's what's going to happen. And there you go. You're going to figure out a way to live with people or not live with people. And being a power trip on people because they're doing something with their kid or going someplace you don't want them to go is not the right way to do it. You don't gain power that way.
Yeah.
You want power. So I think that I was a hero.
Yeah.
Standing up to a bully.
I agree.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like I understood the background of how homeowners associations work, but now I feel like he's even more of he did nothing wrong.
Yeah,
annoying.
and the other thing too is I
Mhm.
talked about this on another podcast.
Mhm.
Our homeowners person was complaining. I don't know if I even told you this. I hate to
Mhm.
say it again, but there's every once in a while there's a homeless people in our neighborhood.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because there was a homeless problem during the pandemic, and then they shuffled.
Mhm.
The city of Kansas City put some of them near our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
I've
so
heard
people
about
are on
that.
Facebook saying, watch out for these homeless people. They're terrible people. And a lot of people were on the Facebook page in the neighborhood saying, um, wow, that's too bad for them. We should tell the some agency or some shelter or something that they're here, right? And maybe help them a little bit. This lady who runs our homeowner association gets on there and says, I'm glad all the people have compassion for the homeless people. Someone needs to come pick up the dookie that someone a man-sized dookie that someone left in the pool area. So I wrote on there, I'm proud that my neighbors have compassion.
Mhm.
Because I didn't write all this because I have compassion for those people. I don't want them in my neighborhood either. All at the same time.
Yeah.
All at the same
Yeah.
I don't want them
Yeah.
causing trouble and doing vandalism and being at someone else's property. But I have compassion for them because they're a human being. At least I try to be, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's my aspiration. But her statement was you shouldn't have compassion for them because they're homeless. So
Yeah, exactly.
then I went on in my statement and I wrote, I'm sure the homeowners president and board will know who to hire to fix to clean up anything that's wrong. That's what we pay dues for.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I expect people in positions of leadership to be compassionate and step up to the job and try to find it. Like this story, this guy who's on the board doesn't have a right to yell by. He needs to go educate. He needs to go say, sorry, don't do this. And
Mhm.
there you go.
Yeah. Those same people, the homeless that were moved there used to be in Westport, like really close to
Yeah. They don't
that
seem to be
camp.
here anymore. And I'm
I
glad.
think it was temporary. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really not sitting there saying I want homeless people walking around everywhere because they're addicts
Mhm.
and I don't know. They're an addict. You can only help who says they want to help. I mean, they have to reach a point where you help them, but they are people.
Yeah.
They are people.
Mhm.
And you can't just go on
Yeah.
Facebook and not, hey, I can't believe people have compassion for them. Well, sorry. You have
Mhm.
good people that live in this neighborhood.
Yeah, seriously. That was just like a weird way to say it.
And I had one other thing as I'm on my rant.
Mhm.
Do you know what
Mhm.
we do? You want to know my solution to solving this homeless problem?
What?
I don't have one because I'm not I'm not a member of leadership, but I'm going to support them to try to do some things, whether it be my city council, my my elected officials, or my homeowners. I'll back you up because I've been in a position where I had to try to come up with the ideas. This one I don't know because I'm not in the position.
Yeah, seriously.
So there you
Yeah.
go. Back
Makes
to you,
sense.
Megan.
So I haven't read this one yet.
This is just one other thing. I like this question too because it's my generation problem.
Yeah.
What we've done to millennials, where you'll never be able to buy a home and be in a homeowner association, but this is the type of things that we worry about. So
yeah, it seems like a lot of like clinging to power in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know we're not the first generation who grew old who wanted to cling to power. That's just the way it is. Just real. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your question?
I haven't read this all yet, but it says, am I the asshole for refusing to be my friend's baby's godfather after I was given a legally binding contract to sign with requirements attached?
Whoa.
So short story is my wife is from another country and we met a couple in which the husband's wife is from the same country. We're great friends, almost for 9 years now. We've done a lot together, best friends hands down. The husband has no family alive that talks to him. The wife obviously only has her husband and her family as her family here in the US. Well, the wife is pregnant with a baby girl. For sake of conversation, we'll call her Jane. The husband asked me if I could be Jane's godfather.
Oh,
To note, they are Catholic. I was honored. My friend was thrilled, and the next day he dropped off an envelope with some papers in it. After he left, I looked, and it was a legal contract that I needed to sign in order to become the godfather.
ooh.
Obviously, I thought it was a bit overboard, but I gave him it a read anyway. It has so many things on there that I must do as a godfather, such as I must go to every Catholic event in which Jane attends, such as christening, confession, confirmation, etc., which I know are normal events for a
Mhm.
Catholic child's life, so no big deal. Then we get into ridiculous thing. I had to consider becoming Catholic. I must give a gift of at least $500 for each of these events. And on birthdays and Christmas, gifts must be cash only and over $250. Oh no, it gets worse. I'm expected to save at least $25,000 over Jane's first 18 years and set it aside for Jane's future college tuition. Her parents will
What?
provide the rest. Seriously? The list goes on to include various things such as me being willing to cancel any plans I have if they need me to watch Jane or if they could go on vacation, which apparently Jane couldn't go, question mark. Many of the other things on the list were silly or not a big deal, like spending time with her once a week. I called my friend and said that it was nothing personal, but there was no way that I would sign it. He got mad and said I'm the only family they have and I should be thankful and honored that he asked. I told him that I was honored, but that the rules were extreme and ridiculous, especially when it comes to the money involved. He brought up that he knows I am godfather to a niece I have,
Yeah.
and that I sent her money, which I do. I give her $100 a year. In her country, that's a lot of money. I told him that there's a big difference between $100 and
And
tens of
25,000.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
He essentially told me that he thought I was a good guy, but that I apparently had been selfish. He had since blocked my number and email, his wife too. Damn. I knew his wife shredded the papers he gave me and left them in a bag and put it in his mailbox for him, with him telling him it was a shame he ruined a friendship over ridiculous demands. I told him I forgive him regardless. Lastly, I will note that together this couple makes almost $200,000 a year, and my wife and I make not even $35,000 a year. What?
Whoa.
So, am I the asshole for refusing to be Jane's godfather? And then it says added info below. I should add that while I don't know what the wife's involvement was in the contract, many people that come from her country tend to be married to, let's say, wealthier men. They tend to live lavish lives and spend a lot on their kids. Some tend to also Tom look down on small gifts. I guess some tend to look down on small gifts. For example, if you don't have a Michael Kors purse, they might judge you. So maybe the money thing was the wife's idea. If someone wants to spend a lot of money, that's up to them. But I don't want to spend a ton of money on a child that isn't mine. Yeah.
I don't want to spend. I never want to spend money on a ton of money on a child that was mine.
Yeah.
Okay, did it say
I don't even think that I've gotten that from my real parents.
no? Well, I mean, college we did,
Well,
but
yeah.
so does it say what culture they're from?
It doesn't, which is confusing to me.
I would love to know that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this guy's. I don't know. You want to answer it first?
Yeah, he's not an asshole.
That's a weird. I thought they were going to get into paperwork, like we put a letter together that said what would happen if we both died, me and my wife, for our kids, where they would be raised.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think it was to your godfather, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even remember anymore. So,
Yeah.
but that was it. I mean, I'm a godfather of 3 young ladies who are not Catholic at all, any of them. They're not near Catholic. So I failed in that respect. And I was honored to be their godfather. And I also feel not a sense of responsibility, but if something were to happen to their father, I would feel like I would be there.
Yeah.
Also, emotional support, I would be there too, and have been there for them.
Mhm.
Not maybe not all of them, but that's
How
a
many godchildren do you have?
3. No, I have 4 because I have a godson who I guess graduated high school this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's his parents. That's his parents. You know what I mean? It's not for
Yeah.
it's not for me to jump in there and say I'm the godfather. That's his parents.
Yeah.
Does his thing. So
Mhm.
that's ridiculous to add all the money is ridiculous. You know, even the attend the church if he's not Catholic would be bad. But
Yeah.
if you care that much, you only got to pick a Catholic one and then say, "Will you be at these events?" And the person would probably say yes.
Mhm.
Now you
Like,
grew up Catholic, right?
mhm.
Okay, and your parents made you go through confirmation, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
So
didn't
you're
actually make me. I ended up deciding.
yeah. So, but it wasn't even your godmother that was your confirmation
No.
sponsor.
It was Aunt Christy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And she wasn't even she became Catholic, right?
she became
She
Catholic.
wasn't
Yeah.
raised Catholic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, really kind of a good question. We don't do
Mhm.
these completely random folks because that's a generational thing. In the past, you really worried about godfathers and all that stuff. Now, I mean, I guess you still, as a parent, worry about who's going to be raising your kids, but people
Yeah.
aren't as
I
formal.
wonder how much of it really is a cultural or even wealth thing in the sense of like not realizing how much it would be to ask someone to save $25,000. But like if they were close, wouldn't you know that he doesn't make that
Yeah,
much?
right. You think you
You
would know
know?
that?
And if you make 200K a year, maybe it would seem like nothing to save that over the course of 18 years.
Uh-huh. College is a lot more than that anyway, so it doesn't really. It's not that big a deal. All it did is just a burden. Like, I wonder if these people had other kids too. Did it say, or was
I
it
don't think so.
firstborn?
I think it
I
was the
tell you
first one.
what, you think your kids. This is funny. I'm saying this to my oldest kid. You think your kids are special, and
They're
mine
not.
are. But I mean, it's not when people have their own lives and stuff. It's not for them to worry about your kids and making your kids feel the center of the world. You were kind of lucky because you've had a
Everyone
lot
made
of.
me feel that way.
Huh?
Oh, because everyone made me feel that way.
Well, I mean, you had a big circle of family
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
even though some of them had their own kids, they still were there for you.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't know. Would you have loved your godfather more if he would have gave you $25,000?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. What else do you have to say about that?
Um, I don't know. Like, I think that that's weird. It's a lot of money. Like, do people not realize how much money that is? I don't know.
It certainly is a big responsibility. So that's our segment, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Usually we find that people are jerks, right?
Yeah. Both of these people weren't jerks.
They were just around by jerks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mentioned before
Mhm.
that the reason we do this show is so you and I get to talk,
Mhm.
which I love, but also I don't get this modern stuff that's going on. You know?
What is something modern that you don't get right now?
Well, I'm going to show you this video. This is how I feel when I
Okay.
watch television.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Do it real quick.
It's the 2021 What Pop.
Can't see it.
It's the 20.
Okay. Okay, this is from TikTok. So you
Oh, I
know-
can see it.
Ready?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's the 2021 What Pop Culture Sounds Like to People Over 35 Awards, with live performances by musician you've never heard of, singer whose name you've been scared to pronounce, rapper you think you saw in a soft drink commercial, band whose name you thought was a guy, and guy whose name you thought was a band. And at long last, a reunion of a group you were using as a reference for a band that just came out, with special appearances by actor whose name sounds confusing on purpose, an actress who might be the younger sister of someone you saw in something, hosted by TV personality you don't like since he just kind of showed up in everything one day, brought to
That's
you
you.
by a sequel to a movie that was apparently a worldwide phenomenon.
That's how I
You
feel
are
when I watch television.
You were so like, oh, that host that you hate because he kind of just showed up all of a sudden.
Yeah. I think I've even asked you that before. Am I supposed
Yeah.
to know this guy? That's my
Yeah.
bingo. Am
You
I
also
supposed to
said
know this?
earlier that your favorite rapper was Carly B.
Yeah, Carly B's good. Is that not the right name?
No, it's Cardi B.
Well, speaking of generations, that was like your younger cousin says that her favorite throwback song is WAP.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a 2012 song.
Was that a 2012 song? I thought it was last year.
Are you kidding?
The Carly B song of WAP?
Oh, Cardi B, I don't think was in WAP. Oh wait, you're talking about WAP.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm talking about WOP.
Oh, okay. What's WOP?
Let's see if I could play it. Let's compare the difference here.
It's a different song, huh?
You've probably heard it.
Oh, Flow Rida. J Dash and Flow Rida.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I made a little bit of money.
Okay.
There you go. There's the WAP. Okay, have you heard that song?
I have, yeah. I would
That's a
Now-
throwback.
I would call that a
according to
new
Amy.
song. I would call that a new song,
But it's from 2012,
Right.
which
which is
I'm
almost
old.
9
That's
years
whenever I
ago.
graduated high school. And then this is a completely different song. Different acronym.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, there we go.
All right. Either way, we're not considering either one of those throwback songs.
You know what is weird though is like, so okay, music is changing so rapidly, like because TikTok is influencing the way that the Billboard top 100 songs are, because songs are coming on the Billboard list that were old because it just happened to be in a meme and then people are listening to it again.
Oh.
So
okay.
like there's this one song from the band Borns that was really popular in like 2015 that I remember listening to that like then became kind of like a meme. And so people like younger people were listening to it.
Fun.
And like, so whenever you found out I was listening to Tricky by Run DMC as a teen, you were
Yeah.
probably like, how do you know this?
That's exactly
But-
right. How did you know that?
Someone played it on their phone at school. But I think what's weird to me is that it's not even like a long period of time passing. It's like 5 years passes. And it's young kids thinking that that's a cool song. To
Okay.
where it's not even like, oh, that's so old. It's just sort of like, how do you know that then?
So what year did you like Run DMC, that song Run DMC?
2007.
Okay, 2007. So that was, let's just for round numbers, a 20-year-old song?
Yeah.
Because it was 87. Is that right?
Yeah. See.
I don't remember in 87. I guess I listened to 67 music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't do the throwbacks as much. I mean, when it was when I was in the 70s, when it was the 70s, we didn't listen to music from the 50s is way too old, in our opinion. They called it oldies, even.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that I've been discovering some bands that were like alternative indie rock from 2000s,
Mhm.
where like, and by 2000s, I mean like 2004, 2005.
Mhm.
Like, and this is stuff that I really like that sounds similar to things that I listen to now, but because I wasn't really in the target market to be aware of it back then, I just didn't know about it. And they like had influenced a lot of other bands I like. And so it's like, oh, I'm discovering these things. But what I was wondering though is with Gen Z, she couldn't answer the question. So for those of you who weren't there, we were going around the room Memorial Day weekend talking about what is the song that reminds you of freshman year of college. You're going out with your friends, you're feeling good, like Saturday night, feeling all right.
Feeling all right Saturday night. Yep.
And the Gen Z people there did not know. They were like, I was thinking that for them, I think that the song changes all the time for them. Like she could not even pick just like one song. And we were trying to like, come on, pick a song that explains the era. And I what if they can't do that?
Yeah.
Because it's a new
They're not
song.
far enough
like,
away
every
from
month. True.
Uh,
I wonder if they're just more open to like throwbacks or just like other random stuff.
well, I'll bring up one other generational thing and then we can call the night. When it comes to music. Do you follow the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? So this year, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame put in Jay-Z. Is Jay-Z a rock and roll person?
I thought he was rap, but let me see when he started.
Well, he started 25 years ago. To me, Jay-Z is certainly someone to put in a Hall of Fame. Maybe even more than just his performance, you know, his producing and his influence. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What? Well, here's what it is. The rock and roll era, say basically started 55. Now, who started listening to music in 55 till now? Baby boomers. The whole idea of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is just the boomers thinking the world revolved around them.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it's a music Hall of Fame during the rock period.
for their music.
Well, guess what? The rock's period's over, bubs. It's
it is.
And if you're going to have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it really is a pop music Hall of Fame. Frank Sinatra should be in there. Bing Crosby should be in there. I hate to tell these baby boomers this, but there was actually music before them.
Yeah, seriously.
There was music before Elvis started playing the guitar. Now,
and like
it was revolutionary. It was different. It's changed, but so has hip hop has taken over as the number one type of music nowadays. And it's not rock and roll. And if you want to get real technical, you listen to the number one rock band of all time. You could name, half of the songs on each of their albums isn't a rock song. It's pop. They're all pop.
Yeah. You know what's funny is also it's like Black people playing jazz and blues, like inspired rock. And then now it's like rock has inspired rap, even like or hip hop. Like it's all inspired everything. And so it's like weirdly like gatekeeping, like they're like rock type of music.
So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a dumb thing. It's dumb. And if you want to get more technical on that, calling a Hall of Fame for an artist is weird. And even you know what's also weird? I don't get into this, I'll just mention this. The Oscars. The competition between one really good artist and one other really good artist. And you have the Grammys, female vocal versus male vocal. I mean, that's antiquated now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How about just best performance? Wait a minute, best performance? when I listen to one thing, I may like it better than you may like the other one better. There's no best when it comes to artistic performance. There's one that sells more. There's one that maybe has higher tickets. You know, maybe you could judge it that way. But there's no best when it comes to an artistic performance.
And to be honest, what often happens is people choose, because it's not like a public voting. People will choose what white people listen to over like black people.
Mhm.
Wait, because The Weeknd didn't get nominated or something for the album that came out this year
Oh, really?
or something. And I remember seeing him being upset about it. Sort of like,
Yeah. Well, how about when he
Does
played
he-
the Super Bowl and people are like, I don't know who this is. Well, so what if you don't know who it is?
it's
Everybody else
crazy
does.
that people were saying that, because I think that he's like so popular.
I only knew a few of his songs. I didn't know if he was up. My first thought was, I don't know if he's up to the Super Bowl thing, but it's like, I don't know. How do I know? I'm not in the main. I don't listen to music that much, you know?
Mhm.
So
Well, I wonder if for whatever reason his audience was more younger people, or just it's like old white people, or if you guys are just getting old and you're not going to get
we're getting old.
you're
I mean,
not going to get the Beatles again,
Right.
or like
Aerosmith
you know.
again. You're going to get, what are you going to get? Rolling Stones. I mean, they're in their 70s.
Yeah.
It's enough. We got it.
Yeah, we get it. I was actually listening to so I saw this meme that I sent to Jess yesterday that was like about classic rock, and you had to just pick 3
Mhm.
that were your favorite. And let me just share some of these bands. It's AC/DC, The Beatles, The Doors, Guns N' Roses, Kiss, Pearl Jam, Metallica.
Wait a minute. Guns N' Roses became popular in like, I don't know, 93, maybe a little bit earlier than that, maybe late 80s. I mean, we're talking 25 years later than most of these other
Yeah,
bands.
it kind of seems like a weird mix, because they
Yeah.
also have Green Day on there and Blink-182, which
Those
was
are
from
not
2000.
classic rock people.
Coldplay,
Not classic rock.
Queen, Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Bon Jovi, U2, The Offspring, Van Halen, Tool, Radiohead, Kiss, I think I said, Rage Against the Machine. Anyway, Linkin Park, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Killers, The Strokes.
So classic
Anyway, there's
rock
a
is from 1962 to 2005.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like you can only pick 5 of these. And you were supposed to pick 5 of your favorite. And I was talking to Jess about it. I personally said the Beatles, Radiohead, Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Really?
and Nirvana.
The Chili Peppers, huh?
Yeah, I just think that they're way more like my music. I kind of like the Strokes too.
I love the quiz. If they just would say, what's the title again of it? What's the top?
Well, it really just says you can only pick 5. It doesn't say
Okay,
classic.
good.
but-
Okay. I would say Beatles, Nirvana,
Mhm.
and Nirvana was a completely different type of rock. So anyway,
But anyway, when I was looking at this, I was like, I don't even think I know what AC/DC or what Led Zeppelin sounds like.
yeah, you did.
Like, I don't even know what it. Yeah, and then I was listening to it, and I'm like, this is so boring.
Yeah.
Is this what people think is like the best music ever? And it's
There's
just guys screaming.
Which is just back to my point. Yes, I think it's the best, and it could be the best in their genre, but calling a artistic performance the best is hard to do. So there you go, folks.
Yeah.
There, we solved it.
Okay.
So stop
We
fighting
solved
with
it.
your kids about that their music sucks. That's another thing I
Yeah.
want to say. Don't fight with your kids that their music sucks because you listen to Rick Ashley. Okay.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
I listened to Rick Ashley just the other day, and guess what?
Mhm.
I enjoyed it, but it's not any better than Doja Cat,
No.
and it's certainly
It's
not better
not.
than Tame Impala.
No, I feel like I'm starting to get old with the Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a meme to show you
'Cause
really
you're-
quick to end
Because
this.
you're a zillennial is why.
Yeah, well, because people think like young people think it's lame to have like Tame Impala as your favorite band these days because
They're old.
they're getting old. But I'm just like, no, like, because okay, the thing is that at the time when they came out, they were very alternative. Not very many people knew about them. And
like the
now
Beatles were.
there's, yeah, like, exactly. But now there's like enough songs that people know about, and so the young people that like them today, it's kind of basic, as if you were to just say, "Oh, I like the Beatles," like way after they were popular.
Mm-hmm. Can we
But
just agree on one thing?
what?
Taylor Swift is the queen, and she always will be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. All right, that's our show. Are you gonna bring something up, or am I gonna call the show?
Let me just bring one more thing up.
Okay.
So this is like a meme, for example,
Uh-huh.
and it has
Make it
like,
bigger. Can you make it bigger?
let's see. Oh no. Okay,
There you
so these are Tame Impala posters, and then this is the band Pond. That one of the people in the band are people that back up Kevin Parker when he's performing, and so that's like kind of just like a thing you would know if you were a real fan. And then the one of the first songs of Tame Impala, it sounds like it's skipping,
Uh-huh.
and so a lot of people that are like real fans will like talk about like that skippy part or something. And see, this is a meme within a meme because it's, I don't know if you've seen the meme of people dancing, someone saying, "Oh, they don't know what I know," and then them saying they do. This party sucks. Everyone's already heard this fucking song. But it's like, it's kind of like a thing to like make fun of Tame Impala fans. Here's another one of this person wearing a shirt of the album and having a skateboard with the album and Pink Floyd in the background. So,
Well, sorry. I like the Beatles, and you and we like old groups, I guess.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Okay.
you, Megan. Love you. Thanks for joining
Thank
us,
you. Love
everybody.
you. All right.
Talk to you
Thanks for
later.
joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Generations Unite has been a KCTK production, produced by Megan Lavoda and Paul Lavoda. All rights reserved. For more information and content, email us at kctkradio@gmail.com.